Repair Clinic encourages you to perform this procedure safely. In this video, we will show one or more of these icons to alert you when to use caution. Most snowblower repairs will require some disassembly of the product. Before you attempt this, make sure the engine has cooled and the ignition key has been removed. To avoid spills, we recommend emptying the fuel tank as well. To access components like the fuel tank, as well as the muffler and engine carburetor, you'll need to remove the lower shroud. Carefully tip the snowblower forward so it rests on the auger housing. Detach the choke lever extension. Next, use a 3/8" socket to unthread the 3 mounting screws, securing the lower shroud. You can now lift the shroud off. In order to detach the upper shroud, first release the hose from the primer bulb. Use locking pliers to crimp the fuel line, then release the retaining clamp to detach the line from the carburetor. Return the snowblower to its upright position. Now use a 5/16" socket to remove the 3 mounting screws, securing the chute assembly to the chute ring. With the screws unthreaded, lift off the chute assembly. Next, use the 3/8" socket to remove the 4 mounting screws, securing the upper shroud. You can now lift off the upper shroud and set it aside. Use a 10mm socket to remove the nut and bolts securing the governor arm cover plate. Lift off the plate. Next, loosen the rope guide wing nut to release the starter rope and handle. Remove the bolts securing the blower housing. Set the blower housing aside to access the ignition coil and the flywheel. When the repair has been completed, reposition the blower housing and replace the bolts to secure. Realign the starter rope handle in the rope guide and tighten the wing nut. Reposition the governor arm cover plate. Replace the nut and bolts to secure the plate. Reposition the upper shroud and replace the mounting screws. Realign the chute assembly on the mounting pins. Then rethread the screws to secure. Tip the snowblower forward. Reattach the fuel line to the carburetor and secure it with the retaining clamp. Remove the locking pliers and reattach the hose to the primer bulb. Replace the lower shroud by first inserting the tabs into the slots in the frame. Position the shroud and rethread the mounting screws. Replace the choke lever extension with the support tabs facing up. Return the snowblower to its upright position. To access the belt and pulleys, use a 1/2-inch socket to unthread the upper mounting bolt, securing the belt cover. Now use a 3/8-inch socket to remove the lower mounting bolts. With the bolts unthreaded, pull off the cover. To remove the auger pulley, use pliers to secure the auger shaft, and a 7/8-inch socket to unthread the nut securing the auger pulley. Push the idler pulley down to release the brake and pull off the auger pulley and belt. If you need to remove the entire auger assembly, first slide off the auger pulley hub. Now use pliers and a 9/16-inch socket to unthread the nut securing the right side of the auger. Use the 3/8-inch socket to unthread the screws, securing the bearing holders. Remove the holders and slide both bearings off. Next, loosen the screws, securing the right auger side panel. Pull the panel out so you can release the auger assembly. Replace the auger assembly or install a new one by first inserting the end with the spline teeth through the hole in the left side panel. Insert the opposite end of the auger assembly through the hole in the right panel. Then realign the panel and secure it with the screws. Replace the right side bearing and holder and rethread the screw to secure the holder. Now rethread the nut to secure the auger. Replace the bearing and holder on the left side and secure the screw. Slide the auger pulley hub onto the axle with the sprocket facing outward. Realign the belt on the auger pulley, then loop the belt onto the drive pulley as you position the auger pulley on the hub. Make sure the belt rides underneath the idler pulley. Then rethread the nut to secure the auger pulley. Reposition the belt cover and replace the bolts to secure. With the reassembly complete, reinsert the ignition key, refill the tank with fuel, and your snowblower should be ready for use.